Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the Feyachi V90 2 MOA 1x25mm red dot sight. Let's dive into it, talk about it, pros, cons, good, bad, ugly. Let's go. All right guys, so Feyachi V90 does come in a nice little hard case. It does have padding, all that cool stuff, right? All the stuff we care about. All right, so here's the sight itself. We have another mount. We have some scope covers. We get our tools, our instruction manual, some silica, don't eat that guys, a cleaning cloth, and that's about it. All right, so we're not gonna need any of this stuff right now. We also get a spare battery. That's pretty cool. All right, so diving right in to the V90. All right, so the V90 comes pre-installed, you know what? Whatever. All right, so the V90 comes pre-installed with their 0.75-inch riser, and then it also comes with this low riser as well. So whichever setup you want to run it in, it has a low and a high riser option. I'm gonna go ahead and set that off to the side. Now, looking at the V90, so things to note, we have a side-loading battery. Obviously, cool. It doesn't protrude out too much, a little bit, but, you know, pretty standard for the industry. All right, so our windage and elevation turrets, so they are recessed into the body. However, they still are exposed, but being that they are recessed in there, I'm not worried about them catching on anything and getting damaged. So they are just a standard straight head, so you can use pretty much anything, a fingernail if they're long enough, the edge of a shell casing, or you can have the appropriate tools when you go to the range. Really just up to you guys, but super easy to make those adjustments. I've got a penny here. Let's just see if these clicks are tactile. Oh yeah. So they're super tight and super tactile, which I like. I hate windage and elevation adjustments that are just super sloppy and it's mush and you just don't even know how many clicks you went. This, like, you got to put a little bit of effort into it, and it actually has very pronounced clicks, which I appreciate. All right, so our brightness adjustments, increase brightness, decrease brightness are on the top there, out of the way. Obviously, we have our Feyachi logo. If I could make one just criticism right off the bat, companies, make your lettering either smaller to where it's not as in your face, or just go ahead and black it out where it's black lettering on a black housing. I get it, you want to advertise your product, but as the end user, we don't want to see this. We want it to be as discreet as possible. So if I could offer that note to anyone, please take that advice. All right, anyway, so the battery that it takes is just your standard 2032 battery. So we all have those lying around. If you are in the gun game, you've got these things in everything. So good, they went with a standard battery. So we do have our gasket here. That way this thing retains its IPX7 waterproof rating. So this thing will be able to be submerged out in the rain, training in elements. It's not going to fail. Water's not gonna mess with it. It's gonna do its job. It's gonna do what it needs to do. All right, so let's try to check out the dot here. So again, that's a 2 MOA dot, and I will go ahead and hit this increase brightness. So all right, so once you increase your brightness, all right, I'm gonna go all the way down. All right, pretty much non-existent. Go all the way back up. Once you go all the way up, it's gonna blink 3 times. That's gonna let you know there's no further adjustment left. So you've reached the max brightness level once it does those 3 flashes. So it does have 11 brightness settings. 9 of those are obviously visible to the eye, and then 2 of them are night vision settings. So if you're running nods, you'll be able to have 2 different settings for brightness. All right, shake awake. This thing is a shake awake optic. It goes to sleep after 8 minutes, and then obviously it turns right back on as soon as movement is detected. It's pretty decent about it. It's not like overly sensitive, but as soon as you touch it or move anything slightly, it's gonna turn on and do what it needs to do. All right, so one negative that I haven't seen yet, because I'm about to put this on a rifle and go shoot it. However, I am not one to waste ammo. The reviews that I've seen all talk about this mount being inferior, and I can see why right off the, just by looking at it. And even when I agreed to review this product, I kind of thought it. The housing here, you see how thin that is. So that is all that is holding this optic. And normally that would be fine, but this isn't like, you know, forged freaking aluminum or anything. It's just standard like cast aluminum for the mounts here. So everything else is good. Like the mount itself seems solid. You know, everything else is good. Just the design of it with how thin these are. So 704 Tactical did the water bottle test and just smacked it around a little bit while it was mounted to his rifle before he shot it. And then right when he went to go shoot it, it was like cockeyed because the mount itself had bent right off the bat. So he didn't even get to start the test of shooting it before the mount failed. He literally just smacked the optic a little bit with a water bottle, which isn't like any crazy force at all. And this had already freaking bent. So since I agreed to do the video on it and knowing that that was going to be an issue, I went ahead and picked up this UTG 1-inch mount. So this is going to go ahead and replace this riser. So what I'm going to do is, since these mounts are proprietary to Feyachi, like I don't really think anybody else's mounts fit their optic, I'm going to take the low mount here, replace this 0.75 inch riser with the low mount, and then obviously it's PIC compatible, and then I'm going to throw that onto this riser here and be able to have that as one setup. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to come right back. All right, so I am back and I have the new mount on here. So two things. I like how now it is a little bit taller. So before, obviously, we had our 0.75 inch mount. Now I have a 1-inch mount plus the added height of this low base right here. So this is going to give me a little bit more comfort with my cheek weld and lining everything up. Now that's obviously a personal preference. You can run this mount if you want to. I'm just letting you know what I have seen, and I don't like wasting my ammo on something that I already kind of know may fail me. This a little bit better design, a little bit better quality mount, and you know, it is what it is. So this thing is a $64 optic. So you're getting an optic, multiple mounting options, all the tools you need, extra battery, still quite a deal. This mount here only cost me $10. So, I mean, realistically, you'd be in it for 75 bucks, which is still hell of a deal. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted up onto a weapon, and then we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about it. So as you see it is how I'm going to run it. All right, y'all, so here's the V90 mounted up on one of my Anderson builds, and I think it looks pretty freaking awesome, which is 80% of the battle, right? You want it to look good. So there it is, low mount on the 1-inch riser. Everything looks pretty freaking cool. Let you guys get a close-up of that there. And yeah, guys, really not much else to say about it until we go shoot it. Now, one thing to mention, if you are running flip up irons, then you're not going to have a co-witness with this 1-inch riser. It's just not. If you are running this 0.75 inch riser, you are going to be able to get a co-witness with your backup irons. So that is a consideration. However, these being backup irons, if that situation ever arose, I just knock this freaking optic the hell off of here and go to using my irons as I need to. But the failure rates on optics these days are pretty low, especially with today's advancements in technology. So not really too worried about it. But again, just something to consider and wanted to throw it out there. All right, let's get this thing to the range. Let's shoot it, see how it does. All right, another wonderfully windy day out here in the desert. So got the Feyachi V90 out here. I've already sighted it in, got it pretty much dialed in, almost 100%. Could it be a little tighter? Sure, but
I got stuff to do, man, and it's supposed to be 104 out here today, so we got to keep this thing moving. All right, so I got a few targets out there. I've already, like I said, I've already sighted it in. I'm not going to be doing any like drop testing or anything like that. You've seen me do that a million times with these budget optics. They hold up, they do what they're supposed to do. Are they going to be something that you're going to want to take to combat and use in a shit hits the fan scenario? Absolutely not. But for range budget setups, I think it's a good option. Let me shut the heck up. We're going to go ahead and shoot this thing a little bit and see if she's on. So let's go ahead and go for steel right in front of me. Boom, steel is ringing. So the dot does not wash out in the sun. So I was kind of worried about that. Sometimes with these budget optics, their emitters aren't that great. And you have trouble seeing it out in the sun. It's super bright out here. I'm not sure if you guys can tell. And with the tan and super bright sun, sometimes the red washes out. Sometimes green is a little bit better out here. But I don't have an issue with this Feyachi V90. The brightness is pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and just plink around a little bit. All right, so I didn't do my standard like water, freaking oven, freezer testing, all that stuff. We've done it a million times. You know, these optics are pretty much all made the same, especially from some of the same companies, obviously, same manufacturing processes. So if one holds up, likelihood is they all hold up, unless you know you get one that's significantly cheaper than the others. Maybe they skip some steps, but these are all relatively priced about the same and made the same exact way. So I'll go ahead and beat on it a little bit here with a mag. You just saw me take a few shots and it was hitting steel. It was on. This is gonna mar it up a little bit, but who cares, you know? Hopefully I don't break my P-mag, but whatever. Dang, I already bent this little eye relief thing. So see that right there, the little eyepiece? It already bent in a little bit from just a P-mag, but whatever. All right, so I think I banged it around enough. Let's go ahead and see if it's still on. Get myself in frame here. All right, and all right, no issues there. We're still on. Go shoot this target up here. That's 50 yards out. Cool. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna aim for the, there's a little cardboard target that I spray painted a triangle on. I'm gonna go ahead and take some shots with it, and then I'll walk you guys in closer. That way you can see that it actually is on and hitting. I'm not just making it up, even though you can hear the steel right here. So here's steel. All right, now I'm gonna go shoot that triangle. All right. Now I'm not gonna cut away because somebody's gonna be like, oh, he edited that shit. So one take. You guys know my typical steel target is only hand sized, so from about 30 yards, hitting that no worries, which, you know, it's 30 yards, who cares, but hitting it, easy day. And now we're gonna walk over. Jesus, the terrain is a little terrainy. All right, so just those quick random shots. Wasn't really going for super accuracy. You see that I'm all over the triangle there. There's the ones up there towards the middle are from when I was walking it in to sight it in. All right, so that's your one take. All right, guys, that is the Feyachi V90. This thing, it's pretty cool. It's pretty good. For the money, I think it's a good budget option. Feyachi has a few budget options. I know the V30 is really good. This one's pretty good. I think they have another one, the RDS 25, that's pretty decent. So yeah, make sure you guys check them out. There we go. Let me know what you guys think down in those comments. Feyachi V90.